Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to one of the greatest YouTube channels in the history of YouTube. I have a diabolically large cup of coffee. I have my notes here in hand, and you know what that means. It is going to be time to make a YouTube video, and as a YouTuber's motto goes, a YouTube video a day keeps the doctor away. Woo! Clap it up, clap it up. And in this YouTube video, we're going to be talking about 13 things. Never mind, no. We're going to be talking about Luffy's most badass moments, in my opinion. And there are a total of 13 reasons or 13 things in this list that make Luffy a very badass anime character. So, without further ado, let's begin. Now, the first 3 reasons are a little bit comical, but yet they are very impressive feats, and I'm going to try and blitz those. So, number 1, he eats a cart of food in 1 second. Huh? Number 2, he tries to kill Zoro. With what? With a booger. Do you ever see an anime or manga character trying to actively kill another human being with his mucus? That is crazy, huh? And number 3, he also tries to kill Usopp in Skypiea with this diabolically heavy fruit. And what's funny enough is just like the whole scene, Luffy bites into this like green coconut looking thing. He loses one of his teeth in the process, and then he's like, "Hey, Usopp," and he throws it at him. And I don't know how a human being would survive that, falling down and crashing into your face, but you gotta remember, we is an anime, so all logic is defied in anime. All right, now number 4, he is immune to Boa Hancock's charm. All right, so it's pretty funny that 99% of the One Piece universe is infatuated with Boa Hancock, and you got the main man Luffy here. She specifically tries to beam him in one occasion, or I think twice, and Luffy, he's not persuaded. He just doesn't give a damn. And it makes you think, it's like, is Luffy gay or something? No, it's just Luffy is built different, and he's not going to be weak to any woman's, charm. Yeah, that's what I wanted to say. Number 5. One of Luffy's most badass moments is how he destroys Arlong Park, all right? And just before then, number 6, how he gives Nami his straw hat before he goes walking into Arlong Park with Zoro, Sanji, and Usopp. Perhaps one of the most goated anime walks, but the badass moment here is when Luffy gives Nami his hat as a gesture of, here, have my treasure, have the most sacred thing that I possess. And, it's symbolic because when Luffy gives you his hat, he means business. And what happened to Arlong and Arlong Park? It got completely destroyed. And the way that it got destroyed, that famous kick that he goes through the roof, or he makes, and it passes the roof, and then he shoots down the kick and the entire tower crumbles down, has to be one of the most amazing things in One Piece. All right, reason number 7, why is Luffy badass, or one of the most Luffy badass moments? When he declares war on the entire world by making a marine flag burn, right? In one of these marine forts. I believe it's called Enies Lobby, right? He tells Soga King, Usopp, shoot down that flag, bruh. And by doing so, he makes the world government his enemy. I don't think there's something as badass as that, except the things mentioned in this list. Pretty crazy. And more specifically, why is it so amazing? It's because he's willing to declare war on the entire world just because of one friend, of one Nakama, and that is Nico Robin. Amazing. Now, the first post-time skip feat, and it's just immediately after post-time skip. Number 8, one of Luffy's most badass moments is the Pacifista one-shot. You know, you've been waiting for this as a One Piece fan, as a Luffy fan. 2 years go by, and he's mastered armament hockey at the very least, or he's tried to. He's better. And what happens? You know, he's in Sabaody. He's surrounded by Marines. And I think Sentomaru's like, yo, yeah, you know, get this Pacifista and fuck Luffy up. Luffy ain't having none of that disrespect. The Pacifista shoots like a laser or a couple. Luffy dodges with his neck, and then he like teleports or something. He does like a Soru thing. He's above the Pacifista, and bam, son. That has to be pretty darn epic if you ask me. Now, going back to pre-time skip, number 9, another badass Luffy moment is his final Gatling gun against Rob Lucci, you know, and what makes this so impressive is that, you know, Luffy, at this point, he's so worn out, and he just finished tanking, I believe the attack is called Rokogan or something. It's when, like, you know, Lucci comes in, he beams his chest, and Luffy just barely tanks this attack. He's about to drop to the floor, and just with the strength of his willpower alone, he's able to stand. And the buildup is also pretty insane when Lucci's like having this like flashback, just thinking about how dangerous Luffy is, and Luffy's just standing looking at him like, dog, you know, you better get ready because I'ma F you up. Pretty badass if you ask me. And also including Rob Lucci, but this time post-time skip in the Egghead saga, you know, when Luffy transforms into Gear 5 and he blitzes Lucci, like he transforms, right? You get this like shot of Lucci being like, oh my God, this is amazing. And he's excited because he's about to fight somebody really strong. And then in 1 second, you see Lucci kind of get like a face of shock. And you see through his pupils, through his eyes, Luffy just getting closer and closer and closer. And then bam! He punches him into oblivion, and he teleports, or not teleports, he trespasses like a tower or a wall. Bruh, that animation was epic. That moment was epic and incredibly badass, if you ask me. Now, that was reason number 10. Now, 11. What is something incredibly badass? You know, another post-time skip feat. In the Fishman Island, Luffy knocks out 50,000 fishmen using Conqueror's Haki. That's pretty cool. I mean, yeah, it's a pretty self-explanatory feat. I think it's just badass. Now, number 12, arguably something that maybe you guys don't find badass, but I certainly do. Number 12, he tries to blitz Kaido, Gear 4, and he gets one shot by the man. All right. Why is this one of my favorite moments, or one of the most Luffy badass moments in my opinion? Is because time and time again, you know, Luffy's not a character that, you know, regularly thinks through certain things. He's sometimes possessed by the impulse of doing things, and he got pissed. I think they were telling him something about Kaido, and he got incredibly mad or emotional. And as soon as he got notified that that was him in Wano in dragon form, he's like, ah, man, I'm just gonna run in without thinking, and I'm gonna punch this bastard. And what happens? You know what happens. Kaido just claps him with whatever the weapon's name is, and uses a Thunder Bagua. Bruh, Luffy just got annihilated there. He got one shot. And I think that's pretty badass. And the last reason, ladies and gentlemen, you know, what is one of Luffy's most badass moments, if you ask me? Instead of him getting one shot, this is him one-shotting another person. Pre-time skip, it's when Luffy one-shots Bellamy, all right? And this scene is also pretty symbolic and pretty epic because of the context and what happens prior to. So if you remember, before Skypiea, they go into this island or this like dock or port, and Bellamy and his crew, they're in like this, you know, tavern or a bar, and Luffy and Zoro go in there, you know, to research and find some intel regarding Jaya or the Sky Island, Skypiea. And for some reason, Bellamy and Luffy sort of argue, and it is inferred that Bellamy is not a dreamer, and Luffy comes to the conclusion that it's not worth fighting somebody like Bellamy because, you know, there's nothing important at stake, and they just get humiliated, quote unquote. You know, Zoro and Luffy, they start tanking all of these attacks, and Nami is kind of, you know, in disbelief. It's like, what the fuck is happening right here? But you know, Luffy knows inherently, even as he's, you know, kind of getting disrespected by Bellamy and crew, that it's not worth fighting somebody like him. And when he really gets provoked, and how does he get provoked? I think the Bellamy pirates steal this guy's treasure. And so when Luffy has a genuine reason to start trouble, you know, there ain't no stopping him. And just the way that he one-shots Bellamy is absolutely badass, all right? Bellamy starts, like, you know, kind of bouncing around a bunch of different areas in this, like, town, right? And he's boom, 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 boom. And then just the second that he's going to impact Luffy with an attack, Luffy just, you know what he does? I can't do it as epic as Luffy or as badass as Luffy, but that has to be one of the most badass punches thrown by Luffy. Kind of also makes you think about the punch that he gives the Celestial Dragon in the slave auction, or in just the auction, right? And they're not auctioning only slaves, they're auctioning a bunch of things, but you know, Luffy ain't taking no disrespect from a Celestial Dragon, and especially when he hurts one of his friends. In this case, I think the octopus. I can't remember his name, but Luffy dodges a couple shots, and then blam! Like, it's so epic that the entire animation goes black and white, and everybody, you know, is like, "What the hell is just Luffy done?" But you see kids smiling, you see Law like, "Ooh, this is about to get interesting," and yeah, that's pretty badass. I did not include that though in this list because, yeah, I only give you 13 epic Luffy badass feats, you know, in my opinion, that happened throughout the course of One Piece. I hope you like this YouTube video, and don't look at me with that face now, you know, because you know what I'm going to tell you to do right now. And exactly that. Like, comment, subscribe. Comment again, subscribe again, and if you haven't made 15 Gmail accounts by now and have over 30 YouTube channels to subscribe to your boy, go ahead and start doing that, because my goal is to make it to the top, no matter how much time it takes. And with that being said, I'll see you in the next YouTube video. Boom!